Good morning, students. I hope you all are fine and have gone through the yesterday's lecture thoroughly. In our yesterday's video and in the lecture, we discussed about the muscular tissue, the three types of muscle fibers and the comparison between them. Let us now begin with another type of animal tissue, that is the nervous tissue. Nervous system of our body is consisted of brain, spinal cord and nerves. But what is this brain made up of? What is this spinal cord made up of? What are these nerves made up of? All of them are made of nervous tissue. Nervous tissue is further a group of cells known as nerve cells or the neurons. Neurons are the functional units of nervous system. Before going to the structure of the neuron, we must be clear about the functions being performed by the nervous tissue. The first function is that it helps in generating the response to a particular stimuli. What is the stimuli? Any change in the environment. It is increase in temperature, decrease in temperature, increase in intensity of light, pain, pressure. All these are the stimulus. And our body or the animal body responds to these changes, and this response is generated in the form of electrical signals, and the electrical signals are transmitted from the receptor organ to the effector organ to show a particular response. I give you a particular example. For example, if you touch a hot plate, you immediately pull your hand. So here, heat is the stimulus. Heat of the plate is the stimulus. Sense organ skin receives that stimulus, generates it into the electrical signals. In our nerves, there are sensory nerves and motor nerves. The sensory nerves carry these signals by the nerve cells towards the spinal cord, and spinal cord through the motor nerves transmits the message to the muscles of the hand to get pulled so that we can take away our hand after touching the hot plate. So, generating a response to the stimulus and coordinating with the different body organs are the main functions of nervous system. Now let us begin with what is the structure of a neuron. Each nerve cell or neuron has three main parts. Number 1, dendrites. Number 2, cyton, also known as cell body, and number 3 is the axon. Look here at the diagram. These short thread-like strands which receive the stimulus are known as dendrites. This central irregularly shaped part with a nucleus and measles granules is called the cyton or the cell body, and the third part is the long tube that carries the message from the cyton towards the other neuron. It is known as axon. Now I'll explain you the function of each of these parts. Now see, the dendrites. The dendrites are the short cytoplasmic processes, means these are the extensions of the cytoplasm of the cell body only and are highly branched but short. Their main function is to receive the stimulus from the surroundings and pass the electrical signals, generating this electrical signals and passing these electrical signals to the cell body. This irregularly shaped central portion is called as the cyton, or we also call it as the cell body. The cell body or the cyton of a neuron has a central nucleus and cytoplasm which contains certain nasal granules. What are these nasal granules? These are the clumps of pieces of ribosomes that help in the synthesis of some types of proteins. The main function of the cyton is to pass the electrical signals to its long tubular process, that is the axon. Now what is the axon? The long single process, cytoplasmic process of the cyton is called as the axon. Axon gets branched at the end. End per it forms many branches. Each branch ends up into knob-like structures called as synaptic knob or terminal buttons. These are the terminal buttons through which the electrical signals, they get transmitted to the next neuron, then to the next neuron, and so on. The message is traveled through a particular nerve or through the nervous tissue. These synaptic buttons have, and the dendrites of the other neuron have spaces between them which is called as synapse or the junction, which contains certain acetylcholines that convert electrical signals into the chemical signals. Sometimes the neuron may be, the axon of the neuron may be surrounded by a sheath or by a layer of Schwann cells. This layer is called as myelin sheath. If the myelin sheath is present, such a neuron is called as myelinated neuron. If the myelin sheath is absent, such a neuron is called as non-myelinated neuron. And there could be certain places where the sheath may be broken. These places or junctions are called nodes of Ranvier. So, this is the structure of the neuron. The function of the nervous tissue is to generate the electrical signals, to receive the stimuli, to pass the electrical signals from one neuron to the another in order to generate a particular response. And the second function is it integrates and coordinates the different body organs to generate a particular response. Thank you.